Hi Edward, so this is just a quick video about how to upload photos to Bramble. So I'm going to take the example of the About page. So if we decided we wanted to change this image on the left hand side, the easiest way to do that is to bring that image into Photoshop so we can find out the exact size of it, because obviously you'll see these images, they line up nicely because they're all the same size. So if you've got Photoshop, just drag the image into Photoshop. You would see that then gives you the dimensions. So it's 35 centimeters wide, 24.09 centimeters high. And the internet works in low resolution, so everything's at 72 pixels per inch or DPI. So you would basically then load up your new image and then get it to those dimensions. Or the other option is you could basically open up your new image, paste it onto this image, size it to fit, and then save it. But either way, it's going to do the same thing. So what you'd then do is you'd save it and you'd need to give it a unique name. So for this purpose, I'll call it test image, and then I'll just put a few zeros and a number 1. And I'm going to save that on the desktop. That was all ready to go then. A few things about naming images. You can't have spaces in the name, which is why I've just used hyphens. And each image ideally would want to have a unique name. So you could call the image something relevant to the page. It gets some extra keywords in there if you do that. So for example, pen pal hyphen letter hyphen 01 or something as a code. You've got some extra keywords contained in the images then. So basically you then load up Bramble. If this was the image that you wanted to replace, say it was this one for example, you can click change image. You can then either use the upload image button or you can drag the image on to this area here. So that's the image I've just saved, test image 001. You drag it on. Bramble will then optimize it, compress it, shrink it down in file size for you, do the best it can to compress it and keep the file size small. You can see it nicely lines up with everything else that's there. If you were happy with that change, you then publish changes, and then obviously that then saves that change. So it's really quite straightforward. Obviously I'm not going to save that, I'll just quit that without saving. And it's much the same for other pages on the site. If you wanted to replace images, some images sit nicely along the text, but for example this one could be higher if you wanted it to, because there is a gap. So you could bring that into Photoshop, and you could decide actually I could add a bit more height to that. So instead of 21, you could have it 25 centimeters high, and then your new dimensions for the image you're about to upload would be something like 35 wide by 25.01 high. So you then paste your image over the top of that and resize it in Photoshop, or open up your photo and try and basically crop or make it those dimensions in centimeters before you upload. So yeah, images are quite straightforward. Bramble will help you compress them. The only things to really remember are if they're in a row that your images are uploading, then do it the way I've shown you by making sure it's the correct size, and try to actually name the files something fairly relevant with some keywords in. Keep the file names quite short and don't use spaces in the file names, just use hyphens. If you know anything else about images for the web, you'll know they're all in RGB, so that's up in here in Photoshop. So if you were printing, you do it in 4 colors, but the internet works in RGB colors. So every image, and if you're uploading off a phone or off a camera, they'll automatically be set to RGB. If you try to upload an image which was 4 colors in CMYK, Bramble would basically refuse to do it. So I had a couple of people get stuck with that. So if you open up an image, just make sure before you upload it that it's actually set to be in 3 color mode, then save it, and you'll find then Bramble will import that, no problems at all. So yeah, hopefully that helps. You can obviously experiment a little bit. You don't have to publish the changes if something doesn't look right, or if you put 3 images together and they're the wrong size, publish it and let me know, and I can always tidy it up for you. But yeah, hopefully that covers just how to upload a photo and mention sizing a bit. Let me know how you get on. Thanks for watching.